Hey, what's happening, gamers? It's Steve from Drifter Gaming here again today. Hope you're all doing great. I just want to bring you a video today to discuss what's appearing to be a crisis within Ubisoft and why, yet again, they've delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, what worries me when I read this statement, there's a lot of corporate bullshit in there. You can say, oh, we care about the players, we care about the feedback. No, what worries me is this part of the second paragraph, an engaging day one experience. Now, for me personally, I know there's a lot of people that are saying, "Oh, it's good news that they've delayed it because then that means they're really trying to make sure it's going to be in a great state." Why are they getting to within a month of releasing this game, and the game's still not playable to the point of where they're happy with it? It's not polished where they're happy with it. Now, I don't understand why. Again, someone in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong, and it might be my ignorance. And if it is, then I'll happily take the L on it. But what I don't understand is if you still need another few weeks to polish this game, why not just why not just delay this game until the summer? Delay the game until the summer. That way, it then gives you another, 4 or 5 months to really polish this game, really get it in a state that you're happy with, the players are going to be happy with. But what concerns me is they're trying to push ahead just to force this game out so that they can make money. Um, they're not thinking about the players as much as that statement says they're thinking about the players. They're not. Now, I know there's meant to be a playtest that's happening within the next couple of weeks where you've got your usual big YouTubers, usual media outlets that are being invited to go and play it, and I'm sure they'll be given a copy of the game that's going to be in a great state. But bear in mind, these games are usually between 80 to 100 hours. I think for Valhalla to platinum that game is about 150 hours. Now, at the end of the day, if your game within a month isn't going to be in a state that's playable, what makes you think that by March, because you've only got what 2 months now, is it really going to be that much time to improve the game and to make sure it's polished? I'm not convinced now. Clearly, Ubisoft are trying to look for buyers for their company. They're clearly not content with the money they're making. They're looking to basically offload the ship, shall we say? Um, Tencent seem to be floating around at the moment. Their name seems to be linked with them all the time. It seems to be one of the worst kept secrets, which if it happens, it happens. But what my concern is, Ubisoft seem to be so hell bent on we have to get Call of Duty numbers. We have to get Call of Duty numbers. And if we don't get Call of Duty numbers, then our games are a failure. I think it's the polar opposite. Their games are fantastic. I know there's a lot of people that don't enjoy Ubisoft open world games because they feel it's very much like a tick box effort that when you look at the map, there's like a checkpoint for every single area you need to go to. And I can understand it. It does feel bloated at times. That I can get where people get upset with it. Personally, I've always loved their style of games. I've enjoyed the Far Cry series. I've enjoyed Assassin's Creed. The earlier Assassin's Creeds were obviously the best ones. But I do enjoy these sort of more open world style of RPG style of Assassin's Creed. I have always had a lot of fun with them. Um, but again, because they're not potentially going to do the numbers that say a Call of Duty or a Grand Theft Auto will do, then straight away it's like it's panic season for Ubisoft. Now, what I don't get is they've had a game that came out at the start of last year, which was, for all intents and purposes, an absolute banger, which was a Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. It was a fantastic little Metroidvania game. It was around 15 to 20 hours long. The art style was brilliant, the story was brilliant, the combat was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, it was a real throwback. But because that game didn't do big numbers, straight away they've cancelled it. They've canned the game. There was a potential DLC which they've cancelled. There's a potential sequel which they've cancelled, all because it didn't do big numbers. You've got Far Cry 7, which was due to launch this year, which has now been pushed back to 2026. They're still working on Division 3. There's a Splinter Cell remake, which God knows where that's disappeared to. That was leaked and rumoured ages back, but that's gone now. You've got Beyond Good and Evil, which the mid 2010s that was announced. That's still apparently in the works. Now, the thing is, Ubisoft have got a great track record of making games, but I really do feel over the last sort of 18 months or so, they've just deteriorated. I really do feel like it's the sort of that real sort of love and care for their games that they had. I feel like they've just not so much given up the ghost, but I just don't think it's there anymore. And that's what concerns me with Assassin's Creed Shadows now. I played Avatar Frontiers of Pandora at the end of 2023 when I was trying to get caught up on my backlog. And that was a buggy mess. There was a quest that at the start of the game that basically kept me waiting 2 weeks to progress it because my character that I was always using at the time got stuck in the ground and wouldn't move. Um, I was really excited for Star Wars Outlaws when it launched in August. I held off for 2 months because when it launched again, it was in a broken state. So I thought if I wait 2 months, then hopefully it'll be in a good state. Yeah, again, I was wrong. I had one collectible that I couldn't get for 2 weeks because I had to wait and then patch it in for so I could get the platinum. Also, there was a lot of criticism from the community about that for the way that it was built. Um, so yeah, again, it's if you want to make money and you want to make sure your game's good and your fans are going to love your games, make them in a fit and playable state. I'm asking for with regards to this is fair enough. If Ubisoft are looking to sell the company and they're gonna sell to Tencent or whatever's gonna happen, fine, it will be what it will be. But they've got a real opportunity with this game. This game is something that a lot of people, myself included, have waited for a very long time. And Assassin's Creed set in Japan is a dream. It's a dream game. I love anything that's Japanese culture. I love any sort of Japanese JRPG games. I love any sort of game that's set in that style. And any game that, especially like this, the way that Assassin's Creed Shadows is looking at the moment from what they've been showing, again, the style's looking like it's going to be brilliant. But it really concerns me that yet again we're a month out from we were a month out from launch, and they've delayed it yet again because they're not happy with it. Now, how many more times are they going to keep delaying this game? Because surely there has to come to a point now when you keep delaying your game time and time again when you lose credibility. You lose credibility. And you lose the emphasis that you're actually caring about your player base because, as we all know, most of these game developers now don't treat us like we're valued customers. They treat us like QA testers. That's all we are to a lot of these companies now. They may as well just start releasing games in a beta phase and just be open and honest and say, look, we're charging you 60, 70 quid for a broken mess of a game. Because that's all you're doing. You're just charging us 60, 70 pound for a game that isn't ready, it isn't fixed, it isn't good to go. And that's what really concerns me with this game. Now that statement that they put out last week, there was so much corporate bullshit in that about an engaging day one experience. I don't want an engaging day one experience. I just want a game that works. That's all I want. I just want a game that works. Now, why is it so hard in this day and age to have a game that works? I accept we're always going to have silly little bugs. I accept that. But when it's game breaking bugs and when you're a month out from launch, I'm going to use a comparison right now for this because of the size of the world, the length of the game. You've got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 that's due to launch next month. A month before that's due to launch, they're already sending out review codes to YouTubers and to media outlets. And the feedback, every single person I've seen has given it high praise. They've been honest and said that it's going to be difficult for a lot of people to get to grips with, and there might be some people that don't like it for that reason. But the quality of the game's there, the love for the game's there, the way the game's been built is there. Um, Everything about that game potentially is going to be one of the best RPGs we've seen since Skyrim. So if that's the case for this, why can it not be the same for Assassin's Creed Shadows? Because let's be honest, the studio that will be working on this game will be twice, maybe three times the size of what's working on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Now, I'm not stupid. I know the main reason they've delayed it from February to next month isn't just because they're worried about the quality, it's because they're worried about the money. Now, next month, as I've said, you've got KCD2, you've got Avowed, which I know there's a lot of people who are complaining and saying it's going to be woke and it's not going to be great. I personally think that game looks brilliant. It's made by Obsidian. For a start, that should be a reason for anybody to want to play it. You've also got Monster Hunter next month, which I think that's potentially going to be Game of the Year. As long as GTA 6 doesn't launch, I think that will potentially be Game of the Year. Um, that's the reason they're not launching that game is because they're worried they're not going to do big numbers yet again. And I know there's a lot of people that are saying Ubisoft's sole future relies on Assassin's Creed Shadows doing well. If it doesn't do big numbers, then they're going to go bankrupt, etc., etc. It's not the case. Ubisoft will get sold regardless, whether Assassin's Creed sells GTA style numbers or if Assassin's Creed does what Prince of Persia and Lost Crown done. They will be sold. They will be sold, and it's a shame because I really do feel that the developers that they've got, they put in a lot of time. They put in a lot of love to their games. They put in a lot of time to their games. They try and craft their games as best as they can. But yet again, as it is throughout so many different industries, it's the corporate bigwigs that want their money, and they want their money, and they don't care who they have to hurt to get it. Now, how many studios do we have to go through that keep getting closed before it's these people that are held to account? Look at what Microsoft's been doing over the last 18 months. Games that are coming out that are brilliant, brilliant games, but yet again, there's the people that are making these games are getting put out of a job because their games aren't selling Call of Duty style numbers. It's not acceptable. It is not acceptable, and it's not right, and it's bang out of order. But unfortunately, nothing will ever change. It will not change. We will continue in this vicious cycle, and it is such a shame, especially for a game like Assassin's Creed. This game's got a lot of heritage. It's got a lot of fans that have been with this game since the start. I've been with it since the start on the 360. I got it when it came out on the 360 at the end of the 2000s. I loved it. I loved the first one. I've played for every single iteration of them. I've enjoyed every single one of them. I do think once Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out, probably 3 or 4 months after launch, once it's finally been patched and it's finally in a playable state, I think it will be a fantastic game. But yet again, why are we getting to that point? Why? Also, with regards to them delaying the game, you know full well the start of this year is packed. It's packed with big games. Why not just make the decision to say, right, let's stop chasing money for a second. Let's be smart about this. Let's delay this to April or May. Potentially do it June, because let's be honest, the first half of this year, there's a good, highly big chance that the Switch 2 is going to come out. Sorry, obviously you've got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You've got Monster Hunter, you've got Avowed, you've got all these games that are coming out. Potentially South of Midnight's another one as well. You've got Doom in May. Why not delay it to the summer? I generally don't understand if you're that hell bent on making sure that, as the statement says, they want to make sure it's a positive experience for the fans. Why not give us that positive experience? Delay it for the final time, but delay it till the summer. Then that way the game should surely come out in a good state. But yet again, they won't. They'll force this game out. It will come out in a state that isn't playable for us, isn't fun for us, and is just a frustrating, buggy mess. I know this has been a bit of a rant, but again, Ubisoft is a studio that I've grown up with. I've grown up with throughout the years. I've loved all their games that they've brought out. I've got invested in a lot of their games, and to see yet again another studio that I like basically going down this route, it's just sad to see. It really is frustrating to see, especially when it comes down to a game like this. Something that everyone that loves Assassin's Creed, if you ask, I would say 9 out of 10 people that love Assassin's Creed, what their dream style of Assassin's Creed game would be, it's a game set in Japan. It is a game set in Japan. Yet again, we're getting some. We're not talking about the positives for this game. We're talking about the negatives. Now, the positives for this game is what we've seen so far looks fantastic. It looks absolutely fantastic. It looks like it's going to be a great game. That's why I'm so keen for them to make sure that what they release it in is going to be it's going to be in a good fit playable condition. What my concern is, that statement says to me that they're just chasing money. It said that's what it says to me. They're chasing money. They're not looking at putting out an experience for us to have an enjoyable time. They're looking at putting out an experience that, it's all right. Fuck them. They'll spend 60 quid and they can be our beta testers. And that's what it says to me. It's what it says to me, and it's very frustrating to see. I hope I'm wrong, and if I am wrong, I'll happily do another video and hold the L. I really will. I'll happily hold the L. But I've been here so many times over the last 18 months to 2 years, maybe say the last 5 years, with games that I've been really excited for. Cyberpunk was one, again, forced out when it wasn't fit. Um, that was another one that I was super excited for. The ones I've mentioned earlier, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. I was so excited for Star Wars Outlaws. Yet again, that released in a broken state, but again, they were charging at the time. What was it, 110, £120? I'm sorry, I'm not sure that is in dollars. But they were charging that to get the game 3 days early, to play a story-driven game 3 days early. You know what I mean? And then when when they did put it out, it was broken. So you can understand my concern here. Again, apologies to waffle on, guys. I wanted to get that out there. Because it's sort of been bugging at me all weekend, and it's frustrating me because I am excited for this game, and I'm really hoping it when it launches. it's going to be in a fun, fit, playable state. I'm just not convinced that's going to be the case. But again, as I've said, I'll happily hold the L if I'm wrong. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Let me know in the comments. If you agree, you disagree, if you're excited for the game, if you're not excited for the game, if you plan on picking it up or not. Give me a like or a dislike. Let me know if you enjoyed the video or not. If you want to subscribe, that'd be fantastic as well. Other than that, guys, I'll see you next time. Cheers.